Freya, the beauty who carries both rose and blade. In the golden fields of Vanaheim, where the wind carries the fragrance of wildflowers and the whispers of ancient gods, there is a name that stirs both longing and fear, Freya. She is the goddess of love and beauty, but do not be deceived by flowers and romantic songs. In those ocean-blue eyes burns the spark of war, and her hands have gripped weapons as fiercely as any warrior of Asgard. Freya is not only the embodiment of desire and passion, she is the keeper of the darkest secrets of Cedar, the magic that can bend fate itself or shatter the soul. She has blessed marriages with joy, yet she has also cast curses that erased entire bloodlines. To warriors, she is the hope of being chosen for Folkvangr, her eternal meadow, where half of the fallen in battle dwell, standing equal to Odin's Valhalla. To those who defy her, she is an unannounced storm, armed with bow, arrow, and spells that crush the will to resist. Like all gods of the Norse world, Freya's life is woven with tales as radiant as the dawn and as merciless as a winter blizzard. She is proof that love and war are but a heartbeat apart, and that sometimes, to protect what we love, we must become the nightmare of another. The origins and heritage of Freya. Before she ever set foot in mighty Asgard, Freya was the pride of Vanaheim, the homeland of the Vanir gods, a people bound to the earth, to fertility, and to the oldest magic. She was the daughter of Njord, god of the sea and wind, and, depending on the tale, either the huntress goddess Skadi or an unnamed Vanir goddess lost to legend. Alongside her twin brother, Freyr, Freya was raised under a sunlit sky, to the sound of waves against the shore and the scent of ripened barley. But even in childhood, she was different. Her eyes shone as if they held the sky itself. Her smile could soften the heart of any warrior. Yet her spirit was as unyielding as a queen on the battlefield. When the great war between the Aesir and Vanir erupted, one of the fiercest conflicts in Norse myth, Freya did not stand aside. She carried within her the twin weapons of diplomacy and Cedar, a form of magic capable of glimpsing the future, altering destiny, and even making the Aesir themselves wary. Though the two sides clashed with ferocity, they eventually chose peace. As part of the treaty, Freya, Freyr, and Njord were sent to Asgard, not as prisoners, but as honored hostages, living bridges between two worlds. This was the beginning of a new chapter. In Asgard, Freya was celebrated as the goddess of love, beauty, war, and magic, but also met with equal parts admiration and suspicion. Warriors revered her for the promise that she could guide them to Folkvangr after death, while the goddesses admired her rare independence and power, traits seldom seen in a pantheon ruled by men. Yet entering Asgard came with a price. She brought with her Brisingamen, the legendary necklace she had gained through a scandalous bargain with four dwarfs, a secret that some gods would never forgive and none would ever forget. That tale would become one of the most alluring and controversial legends about her. From a goddess of fields and earth magic, Freya transformed into a double-edged symbol, both the soft rose and the sharpened blade. And from here, her stories of love, war, curses, and enchantment began to spread across all 9 realms. The children of Freya. Though famed for her beauty that could unseat kings and for being at the heart of countless romances, both real and whispered, Norse mythology speaks clearly of only 2 children of Freya. They carry not only the title of the goddess's offspring, but also her strength, her wisdom, and her unmistakable mark. 1. Norse, the jewel of the heavens. Norse, Freya's firstborn daughter, her father most often named Azar, a mysterious god who rarely steps into the tales, bears a name meaning treasure or precious gem. Legends say she was so breathtaking that all beauty in the 9 realms was measured against her. Her beauty was not as fierce or blazing as Freya's, but pure and serene, an innocence that stirred poets and artisans alike. It was said that when Norse smiled, meadows would bloom and rivers would run crystal clear. Though her life holds no recorded battles or dramatic feats, Norse remains a living emblem, the most perfect creation of Freya's love. 2. Gersemi, the golden light of wealth and plenty. Gersemi, often called Norse's younger sister, or in some tellings, her twin, was also the daughter of Freya and Ar. Her name means treasure or jewel, but unlike Nasa's serene beauty, Gersemi embodied abundance and prosperity. She was known as a bringer of luck and rich harvests to those she blessed. While she did not take to the battlefield like her mother, Gersemi wielded influence and kindness as her power. In her presence, kingdoms flourished. The wandering father. Both daughters shared the same father, a figure wrapped in mystery. Some scholars believe may have been a hidden aspect of Odin himself. Their names similar, their natures alike, both tied to wandering and an endless thirst for knowledge. Was often away, journeying across the realms in search of wonders, leaving Freya to long for his return. Her longing ran so deep that when he stayed away too long, her tears turned into gold, falling upon fields and rivers, blessing the mortal world with prosperity. The symbolic role of Norse and Gersemi. Though neither Norse nor Gersemi took part in great battles or cosmic events, they hold a symbolic place in Norse mythology. They remind us that Freya is not only a goddess of war and magic, but also the source of beauty and prosperity. In ancient rituals, their names were invoked as blessings for marriage, harvest, and fortune. Their existence strengthened Freya's image as a complete goddess, one who protects and nurtures, who can both fight fiercely and grant blessings generously. Legendary tales of Freya. Freya's life in Norse mythology is a tapestry woven with brilliance and shadow. She could be the eternal muse of poetry, yet she was just as often the center of schemes, curses, and bargains that would echo through the 9 realms. 1. Brisingamen, the necklace of destiny. No treasure is tied more closely to Freya than Brisingamen, a breathtaking necklace forged by 4 master dwarves of Nidavellir. Its craftsmanship was so flawless that each gem seemed to hold both the dawn and the sunset within. Legends tell that Freya desired Brisingamen so deeply, she agreed to spend one night with each of its creators as the price for owning it. A tale both scandalous and unforgettable, often used by the Aesir gods to criticize her. Yet Freya never regretted it. To her, the necklace was not mere adornment, but a symbol of beauty, independence, and undeniable power. Odin once commanded Loki to steal Brisingamen, plunging Freya into a storm of trouble and vicious gossip. But each time, she reclaimed it, and with every return, the necklace shone brighter as a mark of her unyielding will. 2. Freya in the War of Aesir and Vanir. When the Great War between the Aesir and Vanir erupted, Freya was more than a diplomat. She was the one who brought cedar to the Aesir, a magic so potent that even Odin sought to learn it from her. Many tales credit Freya's cedar with tipping the scales of battle, allowing her to glimpse the future, read an enemy's intent, and bend the fate of entire wars. To the Aesir warriors, her presence on the battlefield was proof enough that victory was within reach. 3. Curses that could not be broken. Beneath her beauty and grace, Freya was also feared for curses as merciless as winter storms. Those who betrayed or insulted her did not always die swiftly. Some were bound to a fate of endless misfortune. One tale tells of a mortal king who tricked Freya to steal her treasure. In response, she cursed his entire bloodline to endless war, brother against brother, until none remained alive. Once spoken, her curses could not be undone, not by any god, not even by Freya herself. 4. Folkvangr, the realm of the chosen. Not all warriors who fell in battle went to Odin's Valhalla. Half of them were claimed by Freya, taken to Folkvangr, her eternal meadow, where heroes lived in peace, surrounded by blooming flowers and endless song. No one knew her criteria for choosing them. Some believed she chose for courage. Others whispered she looked into the heart and soul rather than sheer strength. Whatever the truth, to be chosen by Freya was an honor equal to, and sometimes greater than, entering Odin's hall. Freya was never a gentle goddess hidden in the shadows. She walked the line between love and war, between praise and condemnation, always carrying a power that even the mightiest gods could never fully command. Freya in Ragnarok, and the legacy that endures. When one speaks of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, minds often leap to Odin astride Sleipnir, leading the charge, to Thor facing the world's serpent Jormungandr, to Loki commanding the forces of chaos. But amid the roar of monsters and the clash of steel, Freya too stands, not as a bystander, but as a ruler whose choices could shape the fate of the final battle. 1. The prophecy and the burden of foresight. Through her mastery of cedar magic, Freya was not blind to the future as many gods were. She knew Ragnarok would come, and she knew its price. The fall of those she loved, the burning of Asgard and Vanaheim, and the certainty that she could not save everyone. This knowledge brought no comfort, only weight. Each day, as she chose the warriors for Folkvangr, she wondered, would they be strong enough to stand against the coming storm, or merely more names on the list of the dead? 2. The strategist of the end. Unlike Odin, who poured his strength into mustering Valhalla's legions, Freya followed her own design. She sought not only the strong, but the clever, the inspiring, the leaders as well as the fighters. Under her guidance, Folkvangr was not a peaceful refuge, but a hidden army poised for the final hour. Legends tell that when Bifrost shattered and the enemy poured forth, it was Freya who led her warriors into the fray, her armor shining like the dawn, standing against giants and beasts unleashed by Loki. 3. Guardian of what remains. Freya understood that Ragnarok could not be stopped, but she believed a new world would rise from the ashes. While other gods fought for glory and a good death, she quietly sought to preserve seeds, both literal and metaphorical, that could take root in the world to come. Some tales claim she hid away magical relics, seeds of fertile fields, and even the secrets of cedar, so that one day survivors could rebuild. She was not merely a goddess of love or war. She was a keeper of the flame for the future, for the endgame. The Poetic Edda does not reveal her final fate. Some say she fell with her warriors when the forces of chaos overwhelmed them. Others claim she survived, one of the few to witness the dawn of the new world. Whatever the truth, every version remembers her as a leader who never stepped back from the fire. 5. The legacy. Even after Ragnarok's end, Freya's name endures. To warriors, she is the last hope. To lovers, she is proof that love survives even in the ashes. To those who seek magic, she is the first and greatest mistress of cedar. She was never just a goddess of love. She dared to love, to hate, to fight, and to sacrifice, holding within her the softness of flowers and the strength of steel. The final image, Freya rides into the end. The skies over Asgard burned red as the final sunset fell. In the distance, thunder roared, beasts bellowed, and steel clashed. Above, the Bifrost lay shattered, its rainbow shards tumbling like broken crystal. The sign was clear, Ragnarok had come. From Folkvangr, Freya emerged, her golden armor etched with ancient cedar runes, glowing so brightly that even shadows faltered. Her chariot, drawn by the two giant cats Hogni and Fnir, sped like a winter storm toward the battlefield. Behind her rode the immortal host of Folkvangr, warriors who had once fallen with honor, now returned for one last stand. As her cats roared and the earth trembled, Freya loosed the first arrow, splitting the sky before piercing the heart of a Jotun as tall as a mountain. In that moment, she was no longer the goddess of love. She was the war queen, the blade wrapped in roses. She plunged into the enemy ranks, each strike and spell a death sentence. She knew this was not a fight to win, but to buy time for the seeds she had hidden, for the fragile hope of a world yet to be. Legends say that when she finally fell, the sky flared with one last light, like a dawn breaking in the heart of the apocalypse. Her warriors fell beside her, none turning to flee, for they knew that under Freya's command, death was not the end, but the promise of a beginning. And when the new world emerged from the ruin, her name was still whispered, Freya, goddess of love, war, and unbreakable curses, whose legacy was a love fierce enough to defy destruction and a courage vast enough to face the very end of the universe.